All right, it has started. So I'll just Hari Om, Hari Om. I'll just mute everybody. Let us begin the invocation. As always, those who can turn on your video feeds, most welcome. It is much easier to interact that way. You can also pause me anytime by just raising your hand. Hari Om. Let us begin. Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupiणी Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Vasudevam Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Hari Om. Yes, please. Can someone recollect what is it that we have seen last? We have to establish the link. So, yes, please. Anyone? We stopped at Shloka 17. Yes, Gayatri ji. Namaste. Your audio is breaking. I'm sorry, Gayatri ji, your audio is breaking. You want to, do you want to, probably you can try turning off the video feed and then maybe if the net is a little slow at your end.
Okay. Yesterday we saw about 3 types of yadas. Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic, Vachik, Kaik, that is, and Manashakt.
Okay. Mana. Tapa, you said the 3 types of tapas, isn't it, Gayatri ji? All right. There's some network drop probably. Anybody else? Om Prakash ji, were you adding something? Yes, sir.
Actually, first couple of shlokas, Krishna was on demonic nature people only, in a sense. There he said that these demonic people, whenever they do sadhana, they are powered by ego and arrogance. Sometimes it is violent also. They are violent also.
Okay.
So many times they physically harm also.
Is it according to scriptures? Is it according to scripture, practicing such violent practice which causes harm to self or others? Is it according to scriptures though, Om Prakash ji?
No, it is not.
That's what Krishna says. All right.
Now, then he turns on to this thing about the food. He says that there are 3 types of food, like the fresh food, vegetables, and easily digestible. They are normally sattvic food. The processed ones, they are the rajasic one, and all stale food is the tamas one. So the sattvic nature prefers food that have, nourishes the man.
Doesn't affect the mind and body. So, a person is conscious, they understand the reaction of this on my body and mind. So, Sattvic person will say, I don't want to lose my consciousness. I want to be alert. I want to experience every moment fully. I will not lower my consciousness. All right. Yes, sir.
And the Rajasic is like salty, bitter, sour,
dry, dehydrating.
Fast foods. Yeah. And the cold or tasteless, stale food, rotten food is the tamasic one.
Okay. Yes. So these are the food which is which is rotting, which is what we can probably even fermented, which is stale, and they have that nature of eating food. Even some people are very conscious of what they eat, and some people are absolutely unconscious. I know of one person, my friend's one girlfriend, she swallowed a safety pin. She was just eating something just like, not safety pin, the stapler pin. It was there in some food packet. And she then she had to lose her lot of time of college because of the problem. So unconscious, eating anything and everything. So even sometimes Krishna is saying they even eat like animals also. They prefer leftover food also. They say, it's all right, let me eat. So that is the tamasic food.
Yeah. Then he talks about the yajna which is being done without desire of fruits. is the sattvic one. Sacrifice performed or the yajna done with the desires and pride is rajasic.
Okay.
And sacrifice performed against scripture or procedure of worshipping is a tamas one.
Yes, because the scriptures have an injunction, they have a reason why they give the injunctions, why it needs to be followed. If someone says, no, I want to participate in a yajna, but I will not sit, I will lie down. I will not offer any mantra. I only keep yawning. I will not put any ahuti. I will not light the fire. I will actually put water. Now, what happens there? It is actually tamasic only. It is absolutely, there's no point of doing it. You're not conscious. You're not doing it for its spiritual aspect. You're not even doing, sometimes, even if you don't understand the spiritual purpose of a yajna, when you do it according to the procedure, you have some punya which is gathered by virtue of your karma only. Even karma kanda, we say, has its own benefits. Imagine you just sit in your house, do a yajna. What are you going to do? You're going to start cleaning up the place. You're going to go collect some flowers. What are you going to do? You are going to get these twigs, different ahutis, different oshadis. You will get clarified butter. You may not understand the meaning of all the mantras, but when you offer it with sincerity, you are going to, clear your consciousness. Even if you don't realize that also. Just the very fact that as the Gauri is burned, or how different herbs are poured inside this, that, it purifies the atmosphere. And watching even if you just watch a lamp burn with focus continuously. Swami Vivekananda has talked about that as a way of meditation in Raja Yoga also, focusing. So just watching a yag also has its benefits. But when you go completely against all of it, then it is tamasic. I had seen that once in my friends, it was actually sad because my friend's father had passed away. And just after that, they were doing the rituals. This girl was having absolutely some kind of looking at all the priests with malice. What is the use of this mantra? What does this needs? Why does this need to be done? Well, the entire attitude. It is so important you have that clear attitude while doing it. But otherwise, it's better as good as not doing it. Why do? Because this person is making me sit like this. Oh God, when will this get over? This person wants to take money from me. That's why he's doing this drama. There's no need. There's no need to do it that way. Better not doing than doing in a tamasic way. Tamas is where ignorance covers an individual. So that is why it is not what we can say in a right manner at all. It serves no purpose. Please continue, sir.
Yeah, and then in sattvic also there are three types. Like one is of body, the sharira.
The tapascharya, the tapa of sattvic. Yes, yes, sir.
And then second is the word, what you speak.
Yes,
and third is the mind.
Mind.
When all these are together, then it becomes really the sattvic one.
Perfectly. Yes, absolutely. So sattvic tapa alone is a very difficult thing sometimes, because what you think also is important, what you speak also is important, what actions you do by body also. You see, even with best, it is beautiful to see Shiva Manas Puja because it has a combination of everything. You start in the last where Karacharana Krutam Vak Kayajam Karmajam Va Shravana Nayana Jam Va Manasam Vaparadham. By my ears, by my Nayana, by my Vani, whatever wrong I may have done, I please seek your forgiveness. Vehitama Va Sarvametat Shamasva Jaya Jaya Karunabhe Shri Mahadeva Shambho. Means, oh Lord, oh great Karuna, my Bhagwan, give your grace. Forgive if any of mistakes are done. That is where a sattvic person recognizes that so many places he has to be conscious. Why does Kabir say, Bura jo dekhan main chala, bura na milya koi, jo dil khoja apna, mujhsa bura na koi. He's not a bad person, but he's conscious. He does not want to do anything wrong, not by deeds, not by thoughts, not even by words. All three. So real sattvic tapa, it requires a part sharira tapa. Means you have to do something sharirik also. You cannot say, I will not do anything sharirik. Then what is the meaning of that? Take your effort. I think the Setu was being built. It is said even the squirrel participated, isn't it? Does it make a difference? Your volume of work is not so important. There was this old lady during this pandemic only, when there was these funds were getting collected. This lady had so little income, yet she gave whatever income she had. She said, I'll offer it. It was maybe 1/1,000,000th of the amount that was given by the richest man. But that doesn't matter. That has greater value because it is done and earned with such sincerity. That has its own value. It is a tapa which is done. So this is what we see as Sharira Tapa. Many people go Guru Pragnya Pujanam, they go to Guru Seva, they do Seva of some Brahmachari. In many homes, sometimes, especially in the Jain families, these great Jain monks come to their homes. People come and listen to their pravachan. The entire community just does some service for them. What is the reason? Because they understand it is important. It is integral part. If you have an NGO around your house, go offer some time in service. Let it be a Sharira Tapa. An additional Sharira Tapa, apart from the job that you do also, it's not so bad or not so difficult to do. It actually cleanses, purifies yourself. Many times, take the broomstick and you start cleaning. You're not just cleaning the dirt on the outside, you're cleaning the dirt inside as well. This is one, Sharira Tapa. Then comes one more, Manas Tapa. Before that, one Vak Tapa, Vang Tapa, the tapasya of the speech. Speak words that don't hurt others. Your job is not to appease anybody. Krishna is not saying go keep appeasing everybody, speak flowery words, don't add harshness. Why does rajas have to come? When you are already having the power of truth, speak the truth softly. Has anybody noticed, even if you speak the truth softly, it will disturb a person who is on the side of falsehood? Yes? Has anybody noticed that? If you have, yes, can someone share your experience? Sometime you have spoken the truth very softly, but that has agitated somebody very badly. Yes? Anyone? Any moment you can recollect. Anybody? Any random moment. Could be friends, could be family, could be stranger. Or do you agree to this statement also?
Yeah, I agree to that statement basically.
Okay,
I'm not
fine.
able to immediately
Not able
recollect
to
the
immediately
incident.
recollect. Fine. If you
Yeah.
all right. Okay, ji, fine. Yes,
Because I
Badrinath ji
think,
wants to add.
I feel we should not react, and when we can tell something very politely, then we can see a gradual change. It doesn't happen overnight, of course, but gradually, as you go on telling something very politely, the person understands. Maybe at
Absolutely.
least family members who are very close to you, they understand, and over a gradual
Maybe,
period of time, you see a change also.
maybe. And even if they don't understand, your prerogative is not to use harshness.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
angle
that's
should
right.
not be there. If you add harshness, you'll have very bad consequences because you're already having Satya is so powerful. Satya in itself is powerful. You don't have to. I remember my own one mistake I had done. I had casually spoken to a friend. That was during the Gita sessions only. Just it was a new batch had started. It was probably 1 year ago or maybe even 2 years ago. I don't recollect. I had just newly started, and a friend of mine said I want to join. I was very happy. So the last day, that time we had some very strict procedures. There was something called last day of joining, and then everybody had to mandatorily write Hari Om. And so she immediately called and said, "What is the fees? I'll pay the fee to you directly on GPay." I said, there is no fee. Then I thought I'll just joke with my friend because you joke with your friends. So I said, there's only one fee. You have to write Hari Om and your name. And she said, what is the logic behind writing Hari Om? I said, before the session, your name is already getting connected with Hari's name. That is all. That is all. So you want to join, you do this. She got very irritated. I got a message. And now because you're friends, you speak more freely with your friends. So she sent me a message. I didn't think you were so rigid or short-sighted. I was going to learn. And all of this was happening. Then I said, it's okay. I said, it's good you did not join. Somebody else will join because that time we had a very strict criteria. These many people only have to join. Now that was just one wrong statement of mine. Good you did not join. But I didn't know what happened. The next thing I know is that friend has really sent a long message of being disturbed by my statement. And next thing I know, that friend has blocked me. I have no idea and I'm very disturbed what has happened just before the Varga. What a Ashubha start. That too, your own friend has got hurt. And I didn't understand what happened. And it took me nearly 2-3 months to get back on terms with the friend. I didn't understand where I was wrong. I was asking Krishna only, what did I do wrong? Should I have not said? Somewhere I felt, because ultimately friend has got hurt, so Maitri Dharma is there. So maybe somewhere I have fallen. I should not have said that. I could have avoided that. I understood that later on. That friend talked to me later on. Said she had a panic attack and she's going through a divorce and life has gone absolutely haywire. And that my action, my one step created, maybe it is responsible, maybe it's not responsible, but it was not required. So if you see, that was one aspect I recognize. And for nearly 5-6 batches, every time this shloka would come, I would actually hold my ear and say, I made this mistake. Penance of speech, satyam bruyat, na bruyat satyam apriyam. Don't add the harshness to your speech already. It is already there. Truth will disturb someone who is on the wrong path. But you don't have to add that. Do the tapasya of speech. Damleji always says, if you do the penance of speech, then your shabdas will become mantras. It is said, Shabda tumhara ho sanjeevana. Dheerajji wants to ask a question. Yes, Dheerajji.
Hariom.
Most welcome. Yes, Hariomji. Yes, ji.
Whenever such consequences are, whenever such situations are happen with everybody, there are two facts of it. Basically, either you have to react or you have to respond. So it is always better to respond instead of react. This is what
absolutely
I
perfectly said.
Feel better way.
Absolutely. Because moments work. We have seen the forces, Rajas, Tamas, Sattva. Sometimes Rajasic forces like Asuri forces work through people. We don't have to think of Asuras coming and standing with their big face and laughing like they laugh in the TV serials. No, we will not see Shurpanaka. We will not see other people like that. But we will see people behaving that way in real life.
Yeah.
But
this
forces,
actually work in our corporate life as well when you do the businesses.
Absolutely. Yes, Dheerajji. So yes. So this tapa is important. Become conscious, speak words that are only required. Let the kindness come. Even if the person does not deserve, who are you to decide whether the person deserves or does not deserve? Inside everybody, there is a divine. So let us speak that. Then studying the principles. So sometimes scriptures, that's why it's important to study the scriptures, because scriptures will tell you. Sometimes you are in a state of confusion. Pick up Bhagavad Gita. Many people do this. They don't know what to do. They do a mantra japa of Krishna or their Aradhya. Pick up the Bhagavad Gita for light. With full sincerity, close the book and open the first page. Look at the first shloka. Who knows, some Arjuna in Great Depression suddenly will see Uttishta Parantapa and will immediately connect to that shloka. Well, like that consciously scriptures also can guide you if you connect with the spirit of the scripture. Behind the words also, words are nothing. Words are just one part. Behind the words is the spirit. They are the vehicle of the spirit. Damleji had actually told one person to do we do research on effect of Vedic chants. We have proven that they are causing different changes in children with special needs. We have done research with scientists. They do even, different hormonal profiling, all of it apart. But Damleji also talked about one thing. To one friend, he had said, do this mantra, Kothambir, Kothambir, Kothambir. It will have its effect. Now, Kothambir is nothing but coriander. And that person did sincerely and he got an effect. Now, what is the meaning of that? Well, the words also become a mantra. They are actually a vehicle. Mantra also. Who is the mantra vakta? Who is the one who is speaking the mantra? One person on the street says something. If I go on the street and say, don't spit, people may not listen to me. But when our Prime Minister when Modi ji became Prime Minister, of course, I'm not supporting any political party. He's India's Prime Minister. One of the first things he said is, Pichkari band karo. And that was one of the starts. That was the start of cleaning, especially in Indore. Otherwise, you would say Indore is now the cleanest city. But otherwise, everywhere people spitting pan was seen visible. So meaning what stage, who is speaking? Sushruth speaking something from one stage may not have an effect. But somebody else from a higher state of consciousness speaking will have a greater effect. Like that, our words also have to become a vehicle for transformation. That time, the words can become true. Shabda tumhara ho sanjeevana. Your word will become the mantra of transformation. That is a siddhi. They say vacha siddhi. Well, there is something called vacha siddhi. But to realize that, We have to first raise our consciousness. Let your words be conscious of words, what you are using. Then they start becoming powerful. Otherwise, if they are wasted, then they don't have value. I think this we have experienced in relationships also, isn't it? So many words you speak and then those words are not reciprocated at all. Then you wonder what happened. Why did I lose these words? Where did they go? All of this, what went wrong? Well, you are not giving respect to your words. So first thing is that is one, vacha. Then mana. Mana also. People start practicing shanti, quiet. They say maunam sarvartha sadhanam. They go into quietude and start trying to see their own plus and minus points. Anybody, can you just tell me anytime you have recognized your own minus points? You don't have to share the minus point, but in a state of meditation, if you want to share, you are welcome, but it's a personal thing. So we don't need to share. But has anybody experimented or trying to see what are their own minus points? In dhyana or some time introspection? Yes? Anybody?
You don't, I mean, not in dhyana, but yes, even otherwise, you do recognize negative traits.
Yes.
Anger
Okay,
is one of the
fine.
foremost. Anger is one of the
Anger,
foremost. And I
okay.
think it's pretty common.
Okay, anger is one thing Shivaji has said. All right. Anybody else would like to add?
Yeah, two things I have noticed.
Okay, Ji.
One is that the perfection. So
Ah.
I look for a perfection in everything, maybe like a family or in a house. So
Okay.
that sometimes, gives this thing. So
They
I
get-
felt that sometimes you have to be flexible on the perfection also.
Okay,
Where it is
all
not
right.
needed also, you want to be have a perfection. So this
Because
is
that
one
is
of the
one
things.
thing. Yes. Om Prakash ji has talked about one beautiful point, perfection. Because even Gita keeps talking about trying to become the best. But how do we impose? Can we impose this perfection? Or will it come just like that? Later on, we will see. We will see in this next Adhyay how is perfection attained as well. But yes, sometimes our own attachment for perfection creates difficulties to others as well. So yes, this is the aspect, and this is what sadhana is all about. It is about looking, going inwards and transforming yourself, not to show somebody, not to show anybody, not to even show your aradhya, not for anybody else, but for your own growth, so you can experience a full, complete life, which is a right of every living being. They must experience that, minus all of these what unnecessary hurdles which are part of Prakriti. So this is important. Just 1 second. Next shloka. So this yes. So this was what we saw: penance of mind, and sattvic tapa is when sharir, mana, and vani all are done together. That becomes a complete and integral sattvic tapa. We see the seven. Let us continue with the 17th shloka. Shraddhaya paraya taptam tapas trividham naraihi afalakankshabhir yuktaihi satvikam parichakshate. When the three penances are done together, it is a penance in sattva way altogether, performed with faith that is highest, holding no fruitive expectations, not even the slightest. So this, again, Shraddha is an important aspect. While you are doing all of this, it is very easy if you have identified your Aradhya. If it is very easy if you have a Shraddha Sthana. It is very easy if you have identified your Guru and Guru is there to guide you. It is so simple. Life becomes very, very free. Well, it is like that, holding on strongly to a Shraddha Sthana, performing all three penances, while doing that, not holding even the slightest. Why Krishna is again and again telling this is because psychologically we are programmed to desire fruits of everything. Anything we do, we expect something in return. This is what nature has, Prakriti has stamped on us. Sadhana is actually to rise beyond that to the next level of consciousness. Sri Aurobindo has beautifully called Bhagavad Gita as a manual for perfecting the human race, to bring about the entire yogic transformation of the world. Don't you think it will be a beautiful world if we don't have all the dirt that is there in the world, which is in the form of humans only? So many things that humans are doing. So definitely we know what is good. We know what is good, only it is not yet manifested. To manifest it, at least for that purpose, for Loka Sangraha, let us do sadhana. Let us start. Initially, there will be one person. Then there will be a group. What Shri Aurobindo also talked about, Gnostic circles, meaning societies, small circles of conscious people. And then that consciousness will spread everywhere. Something like that. Let us see. Let us go on further. Krishna goes on, he says, Satkaramana pujartham tapo dambhena chaivayat kriyate tadiha proktam rajasam chalamadruvam. But that penance that is performed outwardly, executed in pride, seeking a glory worldly, is rajas in the nature and is primitive and cursory, yearning for adulation. It is unstable and temporary. So this is what Krishna is saying. That tapasya that is done outwardly, excuse me, sorry, done with a lot of pride, seeking some kind of worldly benefits. I'm doing this because I want this. What's going to happen to that person after he gets it? Can he continue the sadhana? Can such a person do the tapasya? No. I'm going to do this for getting promotion. No matter what, I will do everything because I have only one aim. A lot of people say, keep that aim in front of you so you can identify and run after it. Fine, you will run after it because that Rajasic force will give you some momentum. After that, what? After you get it, then there's no motivation to continue. Well, then you have to find another Rajasic push for something else. Sometimes it is in the opposite direction. So this aspect is not stable only. It is temporary, is what Krishna is saying. It's primitive, it's cursory. Anybody has done Vrukshasana? Yes, in Yogasanas, there are different asanas, isn't it? Among them, there is one Vrukshasana. Yes, sir. Yes. Yes, sir. You have done it, sir. Sir, please go on.
Every day.
You are doing every day. Okay, sir. Just one question, sir. If you are tensed or you are having lots of thoughts, can we do that asana? Lot of pressure, thoughts, balance is lost, isn't it, sir? While doing it.
Yes.
If there are no, we have to focus, we have to concentrate. Absolutely. Thank you, sir. Ji. Yes. So when we are doing the asanas also, we have to become quiet. You cannot be like, who is watching me? Is somebody doing this? I'm doing so good japa. Sometimes people sit, now there's a guest in the house. I want to show how spiritual I am. So I will sit and start chanting. Today I am going to do 1 hour japa. Correctly, that person sits. The problem is if you are doing it for showing, if you don't have that inner feeling of doing it, you're not going to be able to do. For 1 hour, you'll close your eyes. Slowly, one eye will open to see, is anybody watching me? Suddenly, that guest will stare at you, and then again, you have to close your eyes and again start. Well, whatever it is, this is not going to work, Krishna is saying. It is Rajasic Tapa. Rajasic Tapa is done with some very strong desires. It's temporary. It's also unstable, is what Krishna is saying. Next. Mudagrahen atmano yat pidaya kriyate tapaha parasyo sadhanartham va tat tamasam udahratam. So this is the next one. The penance that is sought by a person deluded, whose intellect has by ignorance been clouded, causing or concentrating with the intention to endure. With the intention to endure, either to self or others, is a penance in tamas for sure. So there are also certain tapas which are done by people driven by delusion, ahankar, andhakar of tamas. That person talked to me like this. Now I will not spare that person. I am going to continuously do this japa so that that person gets a bad experience. I have actually seen one person right on the door of the ashram. He got very angry with my teacher. He was walking in. He said, "Aapko pata chalega. 10 minute, aapko 15 minute mein pata chalega." He didn't even know whom he is talking to, forgetting the age difference. This man is a young man, forgetting all spiritual aspects also. But what has happened? That dialogue is that a Vaktapa? It is not. And where is he standing? His job, he is actually like a person at the door. He has to ensure he's doing a service, which is important. But the way he was speaking, all of that, Damleji just laughed and he said, "Nay," and he walked ahead without giving any importance. I was very angry. You won't believe, 5 days later, I saw him wearing a cast in his hand. The same person who was saying in 10 minutes, you will understand what is the force. Now, what has happened here? This person is whatever siddhi, whatever sadhana he has done, he's trying to focus his energies and thoughts to cause hurt to somebody else. Is that a good one? Is that a right way? No, it is tamasic. This kind of tapa where people sometimes, just, I don't want my friend to succeed. I mean, nobody thinks of friend, but I don't want this person to succeed. I want to get a promotion. I want that person to suffer. There are tamasic thoughts in people's minds and they start doing these kind of tapa. Unfortunately, these cause disturbance to others also and also to the self. Such a person doesn't get any punya, only he gets further trapped in karma bandhana. That is the problem of tamasic tapa. Same way, dana also, donation also. This, we are seeing the stamp of three gunas is everywhere in our life. You will not be able to escape. After studying the Gita, Rajas, Tamas and Sattva will not leave you. They will be around you and you will have to become conscious because these are present in nature. These are present. Watch how reactions take place. Sometimes 1% Rajasic reaction you add to the Rajas, it's going to go worse only. It will sometimes verbal dialogues become fist fights. Fist fights become fights where somebody picks up a weapon also. So understanding gunas is important. So now even donation means it's a good job, isn't it? If somebody wants to do donation, but even your donation can be having a stamp of Rajas, Tamas or Sattva. Dana also is of 3 types, Krishna is saying. Let us see how it is. Datavyam iti yad danam diyate nupakarine deshe kale cha patre cha tad danam satvikam smrutam. An offering in Sattva is said to be done, undertaken for the sake of the offering, keeping expectations none. A sattvic dana is always any sattvic action, a sattvic thought, a sattvic, what we can say, even a sattvic deed of donation also. It can be called sattvic only when it is done without any expectations. Many times people do, I have lots of black money, I want to convert it into white money, so I'm going for donation. Or I'm getting tax exemption, so let me go and give this donation here. Well, that might help them, yes. But what is it? It is done actually with zero expectation of anything in return. That can be called a sattvic donation. Precisely at the right place and moment, the offering is successful. To bring forth the betterment of the recipient, it is bountiful. Meaning, it just can bring about a great transformation. Deshe kale cha patre cha means looking at the desha. Desha means the place. The kala, the timing, what time it is required. And patra, is that person worthy of receiving it? Or if you don't want to go into that thought and you feel it's making you egoistic, at least is it going to the right place? Are you putting it in the right place? It's like are you putting water into a vessel which is having a hole? What is the use there? So where are you doing a donation? That is also important. Can you say, I want to donate, so I donated to some terrorist organization? Will the government accept you afterwards? I didn't know, so I gave away this much money to this organization which organized some kind of terrorist activity. No, that time you will be culpable for it because you have supported an organization without even seeing or verifying. So Sattvic Dana is that Dana. It is done, but it is done with full consciousness. Dene wala koi aur hai, bhejat jo din rain, as the story goes. This person who was giving donation was looking downwards. Somebody came and asked, you are doing dana, let your chest be high, your eyes should be up. Why are you looking sad as if you are you're criminal? He said, no, see, giver is somebody else. I'm just the medium. I'm the medium and I'm just giving it. But look at all those people. They're praising me as if I'm a great person. So I'm feeling sad and ashamed. I keep shaking my head and say no to everybody. I didn't do this. It was done because of this. I have not done anything. Well, this is a beautiful sthiti. And because this sthiti is there, the action can result in great transcendental action also. We have no idea how little donations can help in such a long way. I have seen my teacher once go to an NGO in Nagpur. We didn't know where we were going to go. One organization told, let us, I will take you there. Namliji started speaking. Before I realized, they put the board of their organizations in the back and took photos of Namliji talking for that organization. Means they wanted to document it. But what this person did was, he was from an NGO for special children. He didn't have any money also, and he was feeling a lot of frustration inside because he's not getting any benefit. That time he would send his children to the sabji mandi with a blanket, and all these people in the sabji mandi would throw vegetables, whatever vegetable they wanted to give. That would become the source of food for the children in their NGO. But whatever words he spoke, he came, he touched the feet of Damleji. There was only probably 10 years age difference, not so much. But he touched his feet and he said, you came today. I felt great energy inside of me. No, it was just money. It was just talk. Damleji didn't even do any physical donation to that organization. But that person got rejuvenated, meaning that was the right place and he got what he really wanted. How did he understand that? Well, I do not know. Damleji's way of working is different for me, but I can say he is in a higher consciousness where he's alert. He can understand what is required. So something like that, our actions should also be this way only, not the other ways which are Rajasic and Tamasic. This can help. One small drama which I did with my friends. It was a stupid drama. Batman, Ballman, Gunman. Basically, that NGO told you we need clowns. We want you to do, and I went to my friends. They wanted a cultural program. I said, I can't dance. You people also won't dance. So what do you want to do? The next option is let us make a fool of ourselves. Who wants to become a clown? Two more friends came forward. We did a very stupid drama, non-verbal drama with whatever little props. My mother's chinery I used for a cape, some two horns on my head. Another person took out a plastic bat. We got a ball. We had almost zero funds with us. But that drama was recorded by some students who also came with the same intention. It was like how so many people came forward. It was a very special experience. Later on, looking at that drama, Damliji went to that school, chanted Vedic chants. Today, it has become a therapy which neurologists are doing study and they're trying brain analysis. They are doing the different brain patterns of spectral analysis. They are doing hormonal profiling. But what started out as a small action later on became something else. So that is the power of Sattvic Dana. So whatever we do, let us bring that Sattvic aspect inside. But then comes to the question, what if I don't have money? Can I do a Sattvic Dana? This is the question. If I don't have money, can I do a Sattvic Dana? Yes, please. Anyone?
One can do a Shramadana. That is also part of Dana.
Beautiful. Dheeraj has said Shramadana. Shrama is I have two hands, isn't it? They are the greatest wealth I have got. I have got the Indriyas. Let me use them for something good. So that is one. Shramadana. People say I want to go to the ashram and do a particular Shramadana. Some service, whatever it is. Okay, that is one. Yes, Dipali ji is saying.
समय दान, अन्न दान,
Okay,
सेवा
समय
दान. हाँ,
समय दान,
हम
अन्न
उनको
दान,
अपना
सेवा.
समय देके
जी.
कर सकते हैं.
Yes. Yes, so giving your time. Time is also a valuable thing. So giving your time. Time does not come back, isn't it? So giving the time, that is one. Giving service. And all right. Badriranji, yes, sir. Yes.
Sharing knowledge, is
Ah,
it
yes,
Sattvic Dana?
Vidyadana. This happens in
Vidyadana.
school also, isn't it? Students help another student. That way,
Yeah.
the person who is helping also gets benefited. The person who is receiving it also gets benefited. That is why they say Vidyadana is a special dana also. So yes, it is not just monetary also. So donation is there, but a Sattvic one is done. I taught my friend a theorem. So when I become 95 years old, he should remember and be grateful because I taught him a theorem in school. That is not Sattvic at all. Do a good and forget it, as it is said. Neki kar darya mein dal is what my teacher keeps saying. Do good and throw it into the ocean like a pebble. You'll never be able to recover it. So you have to forget it and go on. Well, that is the Sattvic Dana. But Rajas is different. Rajasic donation. Yattu Yattu pratyupakarartham palamuddishya va punaha diyate cha pariklishtam taddanam rajasam smrutam. A donation in rajas is said to be effected when unwillingly or with ego it is executed. Means lot of ahankar is there. I have so much wealth. I'll show you what NGO you are doing big work. I'll show you what big work I am doing, or I am doing because of me. You are existing. That type of attitude comes in. That I am so and so. The ahankar is driving a person in rajas. So donation is said to be effected when unwillingly or with ego it is executed. With hopes of returns itself, with hopes of returns is its initiation itself and causes violence or harm to oneself. So Krishna is saying this actually can lead to violence. It can cause harm also when it is done with such a ahankar. Many times the ahankar only creates a lot of problems. And every action done in a Rajasic state is for something in return. Meaning I have donated this much. That means I should get something in return. Let me get in a particular organization, this person came and donated so much money. And that person felt I have now authority because I have donated so much. The board members must listen to me. I am going to dictate terms. And when that organization did not listen, that person got very frustrated. Well, this is what happens. Rajas does not give any peace. And it is driven by the ahankar only. And it's done with just some returns. Just with some returns. At such times when you are looking at returns, then you forget what is Desha, what is Kala, what is Patra also. You are just focusing on what is my return. It becomes a transaction. I am doing this, let some 10 people know what I have done. In the same NGO, in that same school where I had gone with my friends, we had somehow raised only 3,000 rupees for the entire event. But we had a beautiful painting competition, we had cultural event, we had around 15 volunteers, all of them. All these volunteers whom I had never met, everybody came, saw each other, all were around the same age. We just said, hi, you go here, you go there. Many people's names nobody knew. It was a beautiful, joyous occasion for everybody. What was supposed to be just cerebral palsy day, nobody even knew anything what cerebral palsy was. But that led to a big opening and a big association of that NGO with ours. For me, it was a very special experience. But in that same school where my senior was a physiotherapist, he said, see, this club people came, they gave biscuits, 5 packets of biscuits, but had a big banner. You people came, you did not even have a banner of your organization. That time we didn't want to spend even for that. But these people just gave 5 biscuits. They called our teachers, and that person actually treated me like I am a beggar. And he said, go. He just pushed me off after handing the biscuit in my hand. They all took, some 7 people took photos for these biscuit packets and walked away. Everybody felt insulted because they had to break their everyday routine just to come and meet these guests. Each teacher, as physiotherapist, has his role, speech therapist has a role. They have a full period throughout the day. All got disturbed for this. And what is this? This is just Rajasic, just for showing somebody that I have done this action. Many times people come for taking photographs. I want to show what I have done. One is for, sometimes by rule, all NGOs have to document. So some NGOs have to take that. But how many are actually doing it for that, or it is just on a superficial level? That is very important. That is Rajasic. But then there is a third, just Tamasic. This is actually sad. This is not a donation at all. This is just like we saw that Tamasic Yagna. This need not be done. It is an insult. This is not a donation at all. Adeshakale yaddanam apatrebhyasya diyate asatkrutam avajnatam tattamasam udahritam. A gift of charity in tamas is said to be done when ignoring the time, place and object it is done. To the receiver's emotions without showing any empathy, with ill will and despise. Such a giving is unworthy. Krishna says this is dana which need not be done. Now, Krishna is not cursing, but he says this is a wrong karma, which is absolutely showing no empathy. It's like I go into an NGO and start distributing sweets, knowing that now today is the day the founder has passed away or something like that. Is that a good donation? It's an insult. When everybody is gloomy, you're going to come eat this sweet. Some people have never eaten that. Are they going to eat it that day? They'll only have more tears. Or if a farmer says, I want seeds before the rainy season, please, I'll give you at better rates. I will return the money later on. Just give me these seeds. You say, get lost, not now. And then when the rainy season has just started, here, come take the seeds. Is that a donation? It's of no use. These seeds will not last till the next season again. It has just been given. It's like an insult, isn't it? Just to show you are incapable and I am more capable than you. So these are all tamasic donations, not looking at Desha, not looking at Kala, not looking at the Patra also. Patra means the person whether it's worthy or not. Like I talked about terrorist organization. You're not doing any study. I have got excess money with me, excess wealth with me. So I'm going to donate it to the first organization I find online without doing any study. What's going to happen then? You are going to be responsible if that money is going elsewhere. You have to, and even if you are not responsible by law or anything, by karma you are, isn't it? You support someone who is doing wrong. What is that? You are doing absolutely wrong action and you are wasting your money also. Well, that is what is tamasic. So there are three types of danas also. One is rajasic, one is sattvic, and one is tamasic. Sattvic is the best, for it is done with full sensitivity. It is understood where it is going, why it is going, and also desha, kala, and patra. It is required, seeing if it is required or not. Krishna goes on. Next comes the mantra. So everywhere there are three. We have seen this trinity, isn't it? Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. Sattva, Raja, Tama. Kapha, Vata, Pitta. Like that, everywhere there's a trinity. Well, there is a mantra also which is called a triple mantra, which is introduced in the Bhagavad Gita. So if we understand, if we say, I don't have a guru, many times we say, Guru, why you need guru? Because guru gives guru mantra. And it is whispered quietly in the ear. That mantra diksha is so important because that mantra then becomes your friend. That mantra carries you around. You have to do the japa. Well, later on the mantra will do the remaining part. Well, like that here, Krishna, if we say Krishna Mande Jagat Gurum, we don't have a guru, don't worry. You will find in your life. You don't have to get frustrated or emotional. That's I had done that stupid thing. 6-7 months I was crying for no reason. Time comes, you will get everything. But till then, recognize Krishna as your Aradhya. And where he is here in this shloka, he is giving an open mantra diksha to everybody. All those who want to listen, all those who want to hear, that is the mantra here. Krishna says, Om Tat Saditi Nirdesho Brahmanas Trividha Smritaha Brahmanas Tena Vedascha Yajnascha Vihitaha Pura. He says, this is the ancient mantra. Many aeons ago, this triple formula was conceived. Many aeons ago, this was understood. Many times mantras are not just to be said, it is said that they have to be heard. Shruti. Well, they are heard by them, by the yogic rishis when they are silence. In the silence, they have heard different mantras and then those mantras become their vehicle for their sadhana and tapascharya also. So like that in the ancient times, as the yogis meditated, probably during that time, that was how this was conceived, Krishna was saying, in the ancient times. By the same sacrifice, the Vedic knowledge was received. So from the same yajna, the Vedic wisdom was received. If you study the Vedic Suktas, you will see whichever gharana it is, whichever Vedic Rishi you are looking at. If you look at whichever, Bharadwaj, Angiras, Atri, each of them has a separate style depending on their nature. And how did they get it? In states of high consciousness, as they meditated, they received it. So Krishna is saying, by the same mantra, even the Vedic wisdom, what is there in the Vedas, which Krishna has told so many times, Chandasi Yasya Parnani, you will understand even that inverted Ashwatha tree if you understand the secret of the Veda. That is what here he's saying. Same sacrifice, the Vedic knowledge was received. The mantra Om Tat Sat, with Om, the primordial syllable, Tat, the eternal Brahman, Sat, the highest truth cognizable. So Krishna says, many eons ago, this triple formula was received. What is it? The mantra is here. Om Tat Sat. 3 words. Om, Tat, and Sat. Om is the first syllable. Tat. Tat refers to the Brahman. It is the same Tat which is in the Mahavakyas also. Tat Tvamasi. What is that Tat? Tat is that referring to the Supreme Brahman. Brahman is in the Supreme Creator. Sat. Sat is the highest truth cognizable. So, Sat is like what we can say the base of even Sattva is Sat only. Sat is that perfect truth, the highest, brightest, best, purest, most refined, most immaculate, whatever truth is there, that can be connected with Sat. Let us see. Many times mantras are what we learned in school, algebraic expressions, isn't it? X, Y, Z. X can become number of tomatoes, X can become number of apples, X can become anything, and the algebraic equation is established. Once the equation is established, you know what to use for what. Well, just like that, these three mantras, Om, Tat, Sat, they are also like different algebraic expressions. They are connecting to something. Om connects you to that sacred syllable. Go to the Upanishads, you will find descriptions of Om only. Mandukya Upanishad is just Om. Om iti etadaksharamidam sarvam tasyopavyakhyanam bhutam bhavat bhavishyati sarvam omkaram eva. Everything is Om. All is only Om and Om is only all. What is that Upanishad talking about? Well, there is something to connect with. Use Om as a vehicle to connect with that. Then Tat. Tat is referring to that Supreme Brahman. Again, the Mahavakya Tattvamasi. That Tat is referring to the Supreme Truth which is possible for human realization. The Supreme Purusha, Supreme, whatever you are going to assign it with. So you can use that Tat for it. And Sat. Sat is the highest truth. Sat is equal to the, what we can, we'll see now. Next shloka, actually it's getting described by Krishna. He's describing this mantra only. Let us see. Tasmad Om iti udahritya yakna dana tapakriyaha pravartante vidhanoktaha satatam brahmavadinam. So those who knew the Vedic sciences, there's a science of the Vedas that we must recognize. We cannot just go into the Western interpretation that Vedas are just ritualistic texts. These Vedic scientists only constructed all those great temples, which even my friend who's a brilliant mechanical engineer, is one of the best I have met. He says, I went to a temple with my child and my wife. He says, I cannot understand, even the biggest industrial crane will not be able to lift so easily what this was lifted. And that time they didn't have any such industrial cranes, what we have today. I'm shocked. I am still not able to understand. That person has no interest in spirituality, completely interested in mechanical and engineering only. And that is also spirituality, I feel. He does not acknowledge it. But he says, I was very surprised. He says, looking at how did they understand all of it? Where did they get that technology? He says, we have all of it today. Still, he said, if I had taken in a big truck, that truck's wheels will only get collapsed. I will not be able to do transportation. But how did they do it? Well, they knew the science. The Vedic rishis were scientists also and spiritualists also at the same time. So these ones, they have talked about it. And that is why they use this. So Krishna says, Om. Why do Vedic rishis, most mantras begin with Om? Because they understand it is the Pranavaha. Pranavaha Sarva Vedeshu. Pranava is the beginning of their mantras. So they start their works with Om. Like we also say Hari Om when we start Hari Om. Why? Because we try to connect with Om. Om is the start of everything. The Gayatri Mantra also, there is a Om in the start and Om in the end. Why do they say that? Om Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimai Dhiyo Prachodayat. Again Om. Many people say that Om, between the last Om and between the next Om of the second mantra, which is that silence is everything. Well, that is to be experienced. What is there in that silence? Mandukya says there is a fourth part, Shantam, Shivam, Advaitam, Chaturtham, Manyante, Sa Atma, Sa Vigneya. That is the knowledge which is to be got. So it is in that silence, whatever it is, the Vedic rishis were conscious of that metaphysical science, and that is why they chose Om to start all their activities, whether it was a dana, whether it was a yagna, whether it was any other karma also, they would start with Om. So maybe why not we also, if we are doing some work, why not start with Om? Let us try to experience what it is. I'm cooking a dish. Let me say Om and become conscious and cook that dish. Let me see if it is as good as it was, how Gopala used to enjoy in Vrindavan also, isn't it? Some of the best food with all the gopis. Why not give that experience of Vrindavan in our own homes? Well, use Om. Krishna says that is why the knowers of the Vedic sciences chant and meditate. And all their sacrifices, offerings, and actions, with Om they initiate. By the principles of the scriptures, they firmly stand, and the meanings of their procedures they understand. Vedic rishis don't say Om for nothing, it has its value. And probably somebody can try doing the japa also. If you have krodha issues also, you're not able to control anger, try japa and see how it changes. It will change, it 100% changes. That is sadhana. And mantras are useful for sadhana. Next Om, and then next is Tat. Tat is what? Tat iti anabhisandhaya Phalam yajna tapah kriyaha dana kriyascha vividhaha kriyante mokshakangshibihi. That is concentrated upon profusely. Without seeking any fruits, it is pronounced verily by the awakened seekers of liberation during penance, offerings, and sacrificial action. So Tat Tvamasi. Yes, Badrinathji. Yes, sir.
I didn't understand the last two sentences. By the principles of the scriptures, they firmly stand, and the meanings of their procedures they understand. I did not follow this.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Please, can you explain?
Yes, sure, Ji. If you see, they have understood the reason of so many scriptures, so many. I'll just mute you now, Badrinathji, if you have something. Yeah, all right. Yes. Yeah, all right. So these Vedic rishis understand the meaning of Om. If you look at Bhagavad Gita also, we have seen Om coming before, isn't it? 2-3 places Om has come before also. Where Krishna talks about Om in the Vibhuti Darshana also. He says, I am there. So here, the Vedic rishis, they are conscious. That is why when they begin their scriptures, they start with Om because they understand. What do the scriptures talk about? The scriptures talk about the metaphysical truth of Om. Some saints have said Om is only Ganesha. Omkar is the root of Ganesha only, they say. Akara, Charana, Yugula, Ukara, Udara, Vishala, Makara, Mahamandala. How is it? Well, that U, Ma, these are the 3 parts, and Ganesha can be. Artists very well understand how you can draw a Ganesha out of Om. So many different ways they draw that. Well, those who have understood the scriptures' meanings, they have got the secret meaning of the scripture also, and becoming conscious of that, they stand by these principles which are there in the Vedas. They not just rigidly, blindly follow scriptures only, they understand it. After understanding, what do? They are using Om for the initiation. Badrinathji, is it clear here that they have understood the purpose and meaning of different aspects? Because there are a lot of metaphysical truths in the scriptures. Sri Aurobindo's Secret of Veda beautifully dwells on it. There, Indra has his own purpose. Indra's assistants or partners, we can say, the Maruts, they have a different significance. One is an illumined mind, one is the conscious mind, one is for perfection. So it is said, invoke Indra's strength, invoke Agni. Agni is something which is a force of fire, isn't it? So if you are feeling dull, you're feeling disturbed, invoke that fire inside of you, and that fire will suddenly light up the spirit and you will be able to find energy. I have known people who are feeling down, feverish also, and sometimes they have suddenly summoned energy and they said, I did a Agni Sukta chanting and now that was why I was able to give a speech. One person was feeling very dull. Well, whatever it is, these procedures, what are there, they have their purpose. But what are they doing after understanding their purpose? Krishna is saying they are beginning everything with Om because they understand the importance of Om. That's what we can probably draw from this. Same way, Tat. Tat is concentrate profusely without seeking any dhyana. Tat, that aspect is focused on Brahman only. Tat Tvamasi, the great Mahavakya. What is the Tat? You are that Brahman. When you realize that, slowly the difference between you and me also disappears. Tattvamasi also becomes Aham Brahmasmi. That realization enters into a person. But for that, when they are doing their tapashcharya also, the awakened seers, they seek moksha, moksha kangshibihi, those aspirers of moksha, of liberation. They also don't have any fruits in actions or desires. They try directly connecting. Let me connect with whatever this Brahman is. Whatever is my perspective, they have actually got a realization of what Brahman is. So they are able to go more deeper and in a greater awakening. It is an experience which is to be got rather than just spoken. Sadbhave, sadhubhave, cha sad ityetat prayujyate, prashaste karmani tatha, sat shabdaha partha yujyate. Sat is the all-pervading goodness in existence and is the ultimate truth significance. Oh Arjuna, the word Sat is also used to define the best amongst existences, supremely divine. So Sat, Sat Bhave, Sadhu Bhave, this is Sat Bhava, which is allowing you to connect with all the goodness in the world. This is one aspect which we must learn, to connect with the divinity, because even if we are in the worst places, we can connect. We've seen experiences, even I think Sri Aurobindo in jail. How is it? Some people say, no, don't give me examples of saints. They are too far away from us. They are too, well, saints are also human beings only who have become saints by their tapashcharya, by their sadhana. But also, if you see, anybody has heard of Anne Frank? Diary of Anne Frank was a very famous book, isn't it? Yes, she was a small girl. Yes, Chitraji. Yes, if you can recollect, can you share something about it? Something,
Yeah,
anything you know?
yeah, she was living in a basement kind with her family and all those things, whatever she went through, she was just writing in
She
that
wrote it
diary.
down in a diary, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. And that diary is remembered even now, isn't it? Yes. So,
Yes. Yeah.
okay. Yes, Chitraji. So this aspect, Anne Frank is actually, she was in a concentration camp, of Nazi concentration camp. Her family, she was separated from her parents. If you see a small girl who is subjected to such torture, it is the worst in the life of any individual, any human being. It was absolutely wrong. Her diary was a witness. But if you see, her diary, why is it so famous today also? So many eras, so many, what we can say, generations, decades have passed. But still her diary is giving inspiration because there was hope in that diary. She says, in spite of everything, I still have hope for the world. A small girl destined to die, separated from parents, she can get frustrated. No, she's connecting with the goodness. Well, look at this mantra. This is the same thing. What is this Sat Bhava? Sat is equal to, when Arjuna was told by Krishna, what I cannot describe all my vibhutis to you. Well, this mantra is actually connecting us to all the vibhutis that are described and not described also. Because Sat is that, all that is brilliant, all that is beautiful, all that is pure, that can be connected with Sat. Sat will allow you to connect with it. And I think that can be any place, any time you can connect and get that inspiration. Well, this is the third part of the beautiful and powerful mantra called Om Tat Sat. I think if we don't have Guru Diksha, don't worry, hold on to Krishna's feet. Ask Krishna, this is my Diksha, hold on, do the japam, this japa repetition also. One participant, she had bad dreams, having difficulty sleeping for so many days. She said, I just for fun, I tried chanting Om Tat Sat, Om Tat Sat. She fell asleep. But she said, I felt very happy and I got a peaceful sleep after many months. Now, what is that? Well, this is a mantra. This is her experience. Your experience, you should take it. You will see what it comes out of it. Let us continue. Yagne tapasi dane cha sthiti sad iti chochate karma chaiva tadarthiyam sad ityeva bhi dhiyate. In the penance, self-sacrifice and offering, he who is firm, such a being's actions are in Sat, one can thus affirm. So when somebody is clear in the consciousness, naturally their actions are going to be in Sat. Vivek Buddhi has become Jagrut. what will that person do? That person will do the right thing only. He doesn't have to study scripture. What does this scripture tell me to do in this particular situation? No, Shastra is not required. Shastra will confirm your action is correct when you are doing it in that state of consciousness. That's what this shloka is talking about. In yajna, in dana, and in tapa, when your consciousness is right, you have the right mental attitude, you are firm on the inside, you can be assured that your actions are all in sat, in that sat state of consciousness. Holding a fundamental view in doing the right actions, performing austerities, sacrificial offerings, and oblations. Many times you will not know, I didn't have this particular Bilva month. I didn't have Bilva leaf while I was doing Abhisheka. What should I do? But I didn't want to stop my Abhisheka, so I somehow got one Bilva leaf. I used that Bilva leaf 108 times. Same Bilva leaf again. When one more Shastra tells that is all right, it is permitted when you don't have this Sahitya, it's all right, you can still use it. One more person, Namleji's beautiful experience was he wanted to do the japa which his guru had told, a particular Purusharan he wanted to complete. He was very young that time. And he felt very sad because he had to go out of his home, he had to go different places. And he went and somewhere he felt he had not completed. So when he came back, he came to his Guruji and he touched his feet and he was feeling sad and he said, I could not complete. But his Guru touched his head and said, no, it is complete. And suddenly he remembered a particular passage of scripture. He said it came in front of me. When you are doing it by the river like Narmada, your each mantra is equal to this many times. When you do a japa under a Avdumba tree, it has another great punya. It becomes multiplied so many times. And suddenly he says, now I understood why my guru has told it has come. Your japa is complete. Your full Purusharan is complete. Means that Shastra got confirmed. Shastra confirmed what he had already heard. And he had done it sincerely. So where is it? Krishna will, why we say Prabhu ko niyam badalte dekha. The bhakta has experienced it. When they are in that sat consciousness. When they are there, all their actions, they will be according to the divine will only. You don't have to worry about anything. Krishna goes on. Ashraddhaya hutam dattam tapastaptam kritam chayat asad ityucchate partha nachatat pretya noiha. Penance, sacrifice, and charities by the beings ill-informed, O Arjuna, without faith when they are performed. They are termed asat and detriment the soul's progress, and neither in this nor the next world do they bring success. So again, simple. Sanskrit is very simple. What is opposite of sat? Asat. Mruta, amruta. Something like that. So anything that is going against the fundamental principle of truth, bereft of Shraddha, any action you do without Shraddha, it becomes an asat. And when you are without that, it is going to prevent you from growing. Can I grow if I have doubts in me? Can I hit a hammer on just one hammer on a nail properly? It's a simple action, isn't it? I'm a mechanical engineer. But if I have doubts, can I do it? No, it's not possible because I'm going to hit my finger, or no, this nail is going to get bent. So I better do it properly. All these doubts sometimes will come in the way and prevent a simple action also being done. And Krishna says, Ashraddha, not having Shraddha is a big problem because it doesn't allow the individual to grow. Have Shraddha somewhere. One Shraddha sthana should be there in your life. It could be a friend, it could be an elder, it could be a lover, it could be anywhere, one place. But always choose your Shraddha Sthana in a place where keep it in the right place. Otherwise, you are giving your entire spirit into a wrong place. That's why best is have Shraddha in the Aradhya. But that depends on an individual, isn't it? Some people say, I don't believe in God until I get some experience. I don't want to see or believe. But at least have faith in yourself then. Because without that, you cannot move ahead. Swami Vivekananda also has said the same thing. You can move mountains, you can drain oceans. Faith in God. So in Aradhya also, in yourself also, both are required. Together you can do miracles in life. And that is what we can see. With this, we conclude this Adhyay. With this, we are ready to enter into what is the final Adhyay of the Bhagavad Gita, the 18th Adhyay. Tomorrow we will see this Adhyay. It is actually in the Gita. So we may require 3 more days Maybe this week we might complete, or it might go on to Monday. Depends on the shlokas. Hari Om. I conclude now with the Shanti Mantra, after which anybody has any queries, you are most welcome. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet. Hari Om Tat Sat. Krishna Mandir Jagat Kurum. Hari Om. Namaste.
Hari Om.
Hari Om ji. Hari Om.
Hari
Any
Om,
queries?
Hari
Most
Om.
welcome. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Namaste.
Hari Om.
Hari Om ji. Hari Om. Hari Om ji.
Hari Om.
Hari Om ji.
Hari Om ji. Namaste.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari
Hari
Om.
Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Yes.
Hari
If there are
Om.
any queries, most welcome. Hari
Hari
Om.
Om.
Hari
Hari
Om.
Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om Badrinath ji. Namaste.
Namaste. Namaste.
All right. I think there are no queries. Then we will conclude our session.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Namaste ji. Hari Om ji. Hari Om.